It's been a while since I did one of my actual podcasts. Just myself, as we've been interviewing a lot of great professionals and business people and entrepreneurs. But I wanted to address Malcolm Gladwell's latest podcast, which goes down a path of talking about certain things and leads directly to an attack on the sport I love and an overt attack on it, espousing values with a direct propaganda attack on football. And so I want to address it in this fashion. First of all, Malcolm Gladwell is about as uneducated on football as they come. He has no idea about the process. He's from Canada. He has very little understanding of the game, and he has very little understanding about what it takes to play the sport. He goes on in his podcast to go not only attack football in the end in a long-winded, well-thought-out way to draw you in, and then ends by telling people to protest football at every college and venue. And he utilizes and tramples on an untimely death of an athlete that turned out to have CTE, who had committed suicide, a football player. So I say this. At the same university, University of Penn, there was a track and field athlete that ran off a 4-story building and leapt to her death and committed suicide. Should we be protesting track and field? The link between suicide and CTE could be very real, but there's not enough research on all of that stuff. There are some true things that, obviously, as coaches and as athletes and as families, we want to take more precautions on how many blows the athletes have to try to limit that opportunity. But the truth about CTE, the biggest impact is on athletes that go on to the NFL who play at the highest level. And there's no real proof that high school and youth players who end their games after that point have a higher incidence of CTE than anyone else. Malcolm Gladwell's blatant attack on football is 100% designed to attack a sport that has helped millions and millions and millions of young men get the opportunity to go on to college, to have an opportunity to go on to college, to go to a place in a lot of cases that they might not normally have gotten into, and to be able to live full and tremendous lives. It's anecdotal to talk about yourself, but college enabled me to get a degree in finance, to get an MBA, to do 5 years of college for free. I went to Columbia University pursuing another master's degree in education. I started my business towards the end of that process, so I didn't end up finishing that second master's. But I have over 80 credits of post graduate work beyond my BS, my Bachelor of Science in Finance. It's important to understand that in today's climate where the success of female students has been tremendous at the high school and college level, that there's a shortage of males going into college. And football provides two things for colleges and universities and for those individuals. It provides a male experience. It provides males on their campus and other paying individuals that are as a part of that college environment. Football, for the better part of 80 years, if not longer, and over 150 years of playing the game, or close to 150 years of playing the game, have provided at high schools and colleges tremendous experiences for their campus. And unlike what Malcolm Gladwell says, for the vast majority of football players, it's not at their expense, but to their benefit in life. Football players have a higher incidence of being successful in the corporate environment, have a greater opportunity to become leaders, are learning principles in the game of football that is unmatched anywhere else. Football is a leadership academy. And Malcolm Gladwell, who was an athlete, who was an avid runner, I ask, should Penn be banning track and field when one of their athletes also then runs off a building and commits suicide and is a track and field athlete? Do the stresses and pressures of an Ivy League university contribute to some of those things? Do the stresses and pressures of college and the lack of societal positive influences contribute to the struggles of young people? Do the lack of a lot of times people feeling like they have no one to turn to because of society and social media creates an environment that is negative? Does the fact that college education, which really, for the most part, has little to no impact on the success of someone in life, but does provide them with a college environment and an education, create pressure on the student athlete that is more significant than the regular student? That should be embraced for the football player. That should be embraced for all athletes in general at the college level. I ask, does Malcolm Gladwell really have a clue, or is he just pushing an agenda that he knows nothing about, cares nothing about, to destroy the culture that is America, to destroy thousands and thousands, and in some cases, over time, millions of young men's opportunities because of the sport of football to help them be more successful in life? Malcolm Gladwell runs miles and miles every day, writes books that are eloquently written, but uses his words and his tongue in a vicious way to attack anything he doesn't understand. And for that, he is shameful. This is Coach Schumann signing off. Hit me up at NUC Football on Twitter at any time. To the next Success for Life podcast, please feel free to subscribe, as we have now become one of the top business podcasts out there. We love your feedback. We love hearing from you, and we look forward to hearing you and talking to you next time on the Success for Life podcast. This is Coach Schumann signing off.